Arknights Enfield is a large-scale open-world anime RPG from the developers of Arknights, the most popular, arguably most successful tower defense gacha game on the entire internet. Seriously, last month, Arknights made over $40 million worldwide. Those are almost Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail numbers. With Wuthering Waves having just released recently, to monolithic acclaim and success, Zenless Zone Zero being right around the corner, Azure Premilia releasing in the near future, Project Mugen having gone silent since their debut trailer, Unending Dawn, Duet Night Abyss, and so many more gacha games coming. Where is Arknights Enfield? Why have they been silent? Has the game been delayed? Has the game been canceled, as many players fear? That's what we're here today to discuss. There are so many incredible gacha games scheduled to release over the 2025 to 2026 period. I actually have a video covering every single game that we should be looking forward to if you're interested in checking that out. But very few are as anticipated as Arknights Enfield is, and that's because Enfield is a part of the Arknights franchise, building upon an already existing game, an already existing franchise, already existing lore, characters, and interconnecting the worlds. Enfield joined Twitter in March 2022. This was over 2 years ago. They opened with a single tweet on March 15th, teasing a new game in the intellectual property. This saw quite a bit of interaction, 7,200 likes, 2,800 retweets, 105 comments. They followed up 2 days later on March 17th with a full 2-minute cinematic trailer and a 1-minute gameplay trailer showcasing a part of one of the worlds, the animations, the character models, and designs. This got players thirsty for more, but Griffline, known as Hypergriff at the time, went quiet. April passed, May passed, June passed, an entire year passed, a year and a half passed, and players were beginning to grow a little bit concerned until tweets surfaced on October 26th and 27th, showing off an entirely reworked trailer, graphical style, combat style, exploration style, world style. What they showed us in October 2022 was only a skeleton of what we should have expected. They'd taken a year and a half to redesign the game into something that was almost unrecognizable, and it was well worth the wait. The gameplay showed us how much larger the world was, how much more freeing and explorable the world was. It was different to Genshin, it was different to Wuthering Waves. They'd created a world with what seemed to be more to do, while focusing less on scaling mountains, looting treasure chests, and chasing butterflies. Players were thirsty back in 2022, but now they were absolutely parched. Since their re-debut, the Enfield Twitter page continued to drip feed new characters to us daily. They then began slowly highlighting parts of the world, different monster types, introducing us to everything the game had to offer, maintaining hype until December 7th when they announced their technical test. They continued with the drip marketing until the technical test began on January 11th, 2024. The test lasted until January 21st, 2024, when they announced the test servers had gone offline. They held a small merch giveaway in March in an attempt to not let the hype for the game dissipate, to disperse once again, announcing the winners in April, but other than that, since the technical test concluded, have remained completely silent. This has left many players, as you may have guessed, concerned once again. The last time they went silent, they remained silent for almost 2 years. This is not something we want to see becoming a recurring theme with Enfield's development. Disappearing from the public eye for extended periods of time is a very easy way to fizzle out. But at the same time, if they're deep in the development process, which I strongly believe they are, they have nothing really to show at present, then there's really nothing that can be done here. Fret not, however, as Games Radar reached out to Griffline just a few weeks ago for an interview, and the devs agreed, answering some questions that Games Radar had. The interview revealed several different things to us. Before we discuss those things, allow me to thank our incredible patrons over on Patreon and YouTube channel members. Your guys' support is why I can continue to make videos like this every single month, and I deeply appreciate you all being there for me. On the one hand, they're definitely going all in on the base building aspect of the game, stating players are always looking for new and different types of gaming experiences, and a lot of them will get tired of repetitive content. There will come a time when players run out of content or they get tired of the gameplay. These are challenges all game developers have to face, but we think taking on such game design challenges is exciting and fun. And if we succeed in making something awesome, we hope players will get a special joy from Arknights Enfield that they won't get from other games. This is something we're still figuring out. Evidently, they're still very hard at work attempting to finalize their ideas for the game and many of the core mechanics present within it. We are having to develop it using different technologies, pipelines, and designs. Though this has proved to be quite a challenge for us, we're pretty excited that we can finally interpret our original universe in an all-new perspective. This is where things get a little bit trickier, as this is an engine that the team aren't necessarily familiar with and has no doubt slowed down the development quite a bit. They even openly admitted here to it being quite a challenge. Further down, they repeated that it was important to keep in mind that Arknights Enfield is still currently under development, and what we see in the current build does not represent the final gaming experience, which could mean that they're still planning on making quite a few alterations to the game ahead of its release, potentially pushing the game back further than we had originally expected. The following information, however, makes it seem like maybe it's not as far off as the previous statement leads us to believe it is going on to state. We're still working on this and making changes as we go. This aspect of Arknights Enfield has not been fully showcased since we're still in the testing phase, not the creation stage. They have created what they believe they need. They are currently in the testing state. What comes after they're done testing? We test. And what comes after we test? It releases. Or we hated what we tested and they go back and try and overhaul everything all over again. Hopefully the former, not the latter. After release, it does seem as though they have plans for new maps, new stories, new characters, new products, new formulas, and new facilities, but they do not want to give exact details nor a timeline for said details, especially content cadence, which totally makes sense. I appreciate that Griffline have really taken the time here to drop the interview with Games Radar, as it shows they haven't completely gone radio silent, maybe on social media, sure, but not completely. They're just seemingly very busy at work here, testing the currently existing systems, as they noted, because the game seems to be pretty far through the development process right now, which is great news. Is Arknights Enfield dead? No. Is it delayed? Absolutely not. I'd expect a future beta test or two before full release, but they seem highly confident in their product and show no signs of slowing down. I'll take that as a win. As for when we can expect the next major update or test phase, I know it's probably not what you want to hear, but probably at some point in 2025. Honestly, I wouldn't expect them to be ready for a release before then, which is fine because Zenless and Permilia both theoretically launch over the course of the next year, likely the next 6 months to a year. So we need time to play them, we need time to play Wuthering Waves. Best to space all of these out. Now, if Arknights Enfield is of absolutely no interest to you, no problem. I got you covered with 2 different videos on stream right now that might be more up your alley.